This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the UK's #1 coral selling website, coral-auctions.co.uk and reefdork.etsy.com for all your 3D printed aquarium accessory needs. What's up, YouTube? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Prestige Reef Dork Show. Today, we're going to be talking about criteria for selecting fish, how to choose fish, basically, the things you should be thinking of. Now, when I came up with the idea for the title, I wrote down made some mental notes, and I was like, there's 10 things. Yeah, there's 10. And then I wrote them down this evening, and I've got 9. So
I got 10. I got 10. Don't worry, I'm here.
I figured we'd have some. There's probably like 15 between us. There'll be crossover.
It'd be interesting to see if you've got the same ones as me, or if we've got extra ones, or you'll go, some of mine don't count.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Well, there we go. So anywhere between 10 and 19 criteria for selecting fish is what we're going to talk about today. So there we go. That's what's that? What's that? Oh, is that my jumper? It's my jumper. Anyway, right. We've done enough chat about jumpers and clothes last week, so we're not going to do that. We're going to crack on. So we've got the usual nonsense as well. We've got the news. There is news, Ryan. Oh, I know what I meant to do. I meant to get something from downstairs, and I forgot to get it. I don't have a visual aid. We're going to be adding someone to the list today, Ryan.
Okay.
So, and I was hoping that I'd have my visual aid so I could show you, but I've forgotten it.
I'm nervous now, but okay.
It's fine. But yes, so we're going to be talking about there's news, there's actual news as well. Not a massive amount, if I'm honest, but there is some news. And then we've got the Prestige Reef Fishing Card of the Week, which I've just learned about.
Yeah.
And
me too.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to give you the reaction now. Let's come on to it later.
Oh, you're not impressed by my fishing car of the week, I'm assuming.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anything.
Appreciate them for what they are, rather than like if you would have them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is so also actually that on that point. So I messaged you the other day, and I said something like, "What would you think if I bought 3 pyramid butterfly fish?"
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because I've been thinking. So I had them before, and I got rid of them because I didn't really like them. I just found them a bit like their faces were a bit like faded browny, and so they weren't like the body was this sharp bright white color next to a sharp yellow, and then the faces just looked a bit kind of it wasn't like as I don't know, just I got a bit bored of them. But then there was a Serious Reefs video the other day talking about them, and it's a classic thing. Like last week when we said we were dangerous, the message I was trying to get across is that like you influence each other, but you don't realize what influences you. And all we need to do is talk about fish, and suddenly you're like, oh, I want to buy it. And suddenly I found myself wanting pyramid butterflies.
What's funny is I did a consultation this week with someone, and we were going through a fish list for them. Those are my favorite consultations when we go through a fish list. Fish lists. And he said to me, I'm thinking about getting some pyramid butterfly fish. And I went, it's up to you. You can if you want, but Reef Dork says they're boring. And then a day later, you sent me a message going, thinking about getting some what? And I was like, oh God, have I got to call that guy back?
I know.
I know he listens to the live stream, so he will hear this now. So basically, if you want them, don't listen to Reef Dork. Do what you want.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, and that will be one of the criteria today. But yeah, so I don't know. I want more fish in the tank. It's more or less full now, but I want a trio of that size fish and that color would be really cool. If I could get a trio of yellow long-nosed butterflies and get them to not eat coral
or each other,
or fight, then brilliant. That is what I want. So if you can find me that trio, Ryan, I'll give you 10 quid per fish. So
that's another fish that usually comes in quite big. Because that's what I said to you the other day. The problem with them is you never see these little tiny ones of pyramid butterflies. They're always like quite chunky fish. And I'm assuming they're just collected when they're small, they're somewhere else, I guess. Otherwise you would collect small ones.
So I had that exact same conversation yesterday morning in Reef Keeper.
Yeah,
I asked them, I said, I've never seen them small. The size I got was, I don't know, tennis ball
yeah,
length.
yeah,
And that's all. They're always roughly that size. I asked if they ever see them, and the answer was no again. So there must be
yeah.
something about them, but because it would be cooler. Just they're cooler when they're small, especially if you got a trio of tiny ones. At
Pretty
least
much
I'd have,
all fish are cooler when they're small.
yeah, they look brighter.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I don't think I will get them. But I feel like I want something. I want a fish that doesn't exist basically in my tank.
yeah.
Um, so I want, reef safe, looks really cool, bright colors.
It actually is. It's quite hard to decide what. Once you've been doing this for a long time,
Mm.
it's hard to decide what to put in the tank. I'm experiencing that myself at the moment. So, like, I want a new fish for the water box because I've just cleaned it now and I've just done a 600-liter water change on it. So, I feel like I deserve it. But I don't know what I want. And I think what we should do, we should both come back next week with a fish for each other.
Yeah, okay.
As
Oh,
in, this is what I think you should buy.
yeah.
But it's true because it's funny because like what someone who's relatively new to the hobby will go, oh, Flame Angel, they're amazing. Like this is like, and I go, I had a spawning pair of Flame Angels which I sold to someone. So after a period of time, what you desire isn't the same anymore. Because I
Mm.
remember when I first got a Flame Angel, it was like the best fish ever. But
I've never had one, and I would love one at some point.
you
But
should get one. There you go. I've got the fish. I've got the fish
but
for
this
you.
is but my problem is with all the fish that would be amazing, like a
Yeah,
regal angel, a flame angel, all this sort of stuff, would be fine in most tanks. But my
yeah,
tank is 100%, or 95% LPS.
yeah,
So there will be something in there that something like a regal angel or a flame angel will be like, I'm going to eat that today, and it's
yeah,
just too big a risk, so I don't want to do it. So that's one of my main problems. If I could train those fish not to eat corals, wicked.
yeah.
And I have a low appetite for risk on that. Normally, I don't mind buying a fish, knowing that it might eat corals, and if it does start eating corals, I'll catch it and remove it. But I just feel like I don't have that appetite for risk in my current tank.
Yeah, and catching and removing a flame angel, trust me, dwarf angelfish are some of the hardest fish to remove. So if anyone's thinking about putting one in their tank, make sure you really want it. Because if you don't want it, or if there's a
Yeah,
possibility, like it's different with tangs, for example. If you have a yellow tang and a Scopus tang, and you went, oh, I'm going to add a purple tang, and then there's aggression, you can usually catch one of them or two of them to stop it. With dwarf angels, they hardly ever leave the rock work, which means,
yeah,
and they're very suspicious and they don't like
yeah.
going into traps.
There was the fish that I found most difficult to catch when I had my white spot outbreak. I pulled out all the rock. I was like, do you know what? This is happening. This is the only way I can
Yeah,
do it. Pulled out all the rock. I partitioned the tank with some egg crate, and I
yeah,
removed all the fish I could do. But the mystery wrasse, I just couldn't catch.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
could not catch him. It didn't matter what I did. So I left him, and he was just in the tank on his own for about a week. I put a fish trap in there, wasn't interested, and
yeah,
I kept adding little bits of rubble, and eventually I built up this little cave, effectively, little pile of rubble, and eventually he was like, "Oh, I'm just going to go and have a quick look at that."
yeah.
Bang, got him. So,
Sometimes you have
uh,
to like creatively disguise the trap, don't you, for them to actually go in?
so normally what I've done in the past, not a lot of time they'll just go in because they're just curious. But what I've done in the past when they've been reluctant, I just put a coral in there that I know they're going to eat or nip at, and they'll go in. Food normally works, but if you put a coral in that they're going to eat, then they just think it's natural. That
Yeah,
works. But if that doesn't work, like with a wrasse, there's no way a wrasse is going to eat coral. Like,
yeah.
you got to get a bit creative. So,
I swear on my life this is true. Um, I spent weeks trying to catch a flame angelfish. I had a pair. I had to catch all of my angelfish because they were all turned to eating coral all at the same time, basically.
mm,
I caught the male, but I couldn't catch the female, and I put the male in my sump. And a couple of days later, I put the male in a Tupperware box in the fish trap, and the female immediately went in. It was
yeah,
within
okay,
minutes,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
I pulled the trap, and then I
What
had both of
saved
them.
you?
It was just funny that like you couldn't get tempt her with food, and I thought, I wonder firstly if she'll remember him, like in terms of I want to kill you if
Yeah,
she doesn't remember him because dwarf angels don't like each other. So I thought that might, like with the mirror trick,
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm not sure what it, or she might go, "Oh, I've not seen you in a while."
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. You can't tempt me with food, but I can tempt you with sex.
But you have to be really, really creative to catch some fish sometimes.
Mm. There's the hardest one I had was when I was shutting down my first ever tank. I had a Midas blenny, no, a bicolor blenny, and he just would not. I caught all the other fish, sold them.
Yeah,
all the corals were gone. It was just a rock tank basically, and he would not come out of the rock ever.
yeah,
And eventually, I took the rock out and I was like shaking it upside down trying to get him out.
yeah,
He just didn't come out, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's gonna die!"
yeah,
And it must have been 30 seconds, and then eventually he jumped out. This was all he was dry the whole time basically,
yeah, yeah,
and just it was fine, and he would have been totally okay. But man, the panic and the fear of what if this goes wrong was, and
yeah.
what am I doing to this poor creature?
That's that's the problem when you, especially with like if you've got a white spot outbreak and the tank is so fallow. I
Yeah,
caught every single fish from the water box within a
sip.
day,
Yeah,
and then I couldn't catch the assessor for like 2 weeks or something ridiculous.
ages, wasn't it? Yeah,
And in the end, I went, this is take. So I just broke the tank down, didn't I, to catch it?
yeah,
But it was
yeah.
just one fish swimming around there by itself, and I wasn't feeding it, and it didn't care because
But
it
the
was
thing
in.
is that the more fish you remove, the
Yeah,
more suspicious they get. They're like, something's like going on here.
yeah, yeah. Why am I on my own?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they're scared. So that's why I
Yeah,
like. I want to put some fish in my sump, or a fish in my sump. What I'd really like to do is put a 6-line wrasse in my sump, because I got a frag tank down there,
yeah.
and there's 2 sections, so it'd have a reasonable amount of swimming space. But the idea of just putting it in there on its own, it's got nothing else around him. Even though, I'm sure they're not making friends.
I
It just
think I
it
think
feels.
they prefer it that way.
Maybe
I
that's
think.
it's the dream, isn't it? Really, that's the way
Yeah,
I'd like to do. But no, I don't know. It feels, it doesn't feel right. I'd feel mean keeping
I
fish.
wouldn't question that. Like, because if you put let's put it this way, if you put a 6 line in there and then you add another fish to it, it will try and kill it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
but then I don't know, but I wouldn't question that. I think that's
I,
you think it's mean more than it thinks
oh,
it's mean.
completely, it probably is. But I put my. No, I didn't put my. I found. Did I tell you this last week? My pistol shrimp is in my sump.
Didn't
Did
know
I
that.
tell you that? No, no. He just. I don't know how he got there. He must have gone. The only way he can feasibly have gone in there is through the weir box,
Yeah,
down the return line, and then
yeah,
into the overflow, and then into the sump that way. So that's he must have gone through, and that must have been a hell of a journey.
yeah,
But I found him there, and I actually think he's probably quite happy,
yeah,
because the pistol shrimp fear predators,
yeah,
right? And he sits by the overflow, so food will often escape down there. There'll be some mysis that will escape down there. So he's probably got all the food he wants. He doesn't have any fear, and I reckon he's probably doing all right. So I could just put him out and fish him up, but I think he's probably in a good space.
that's what I do with the crabs. Sometimes, like big crabs come in, with the corals. Not very often, but occasionally you'll get one like monster. So I got a choice: do I kill it or do I put it in the sump? And I put it in the sump. So in the water box, I've got this massive crab that's like walking around clean. He's an extra mouth to eat stuff that comes down there, isn't
Yeah.
he?
That's
And every
if
so often,
I
like,
yeah,
he sheds his shell, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're
yeah,
still down here. Then you
yeah,
like
yeah.
this monster.
Yeah. No, that's what you should do. If you find a crab or something like that in your tank that you don't want, that's a sump crab now. It's not fair to just to get rid of it.
Yeah,
Unless
everyone's
it's like
different,
a
aren't
crap.
they?
Exactly. But I've done that before. I like that. I like keeping them in there.
Jada
In the
says stop killing stuff, right? I didn't. I just saved it. I got a
That's
pet. I got a
true.
pet crab.
Last week, yeah. But there's also when I went to Yorkshire Reefs a couple of weeks ago and did a video of their 6-foot acro tank.
Yeah.
They had a 6-line wrasse in there, and Duncan was saying that he reckons in a big tank they're generally pretty peaceful, and that got me. I was like, oh, I've got a 6-foot tank. I could put one in
But
my
that's
tank.
that's actually part of what I was going to say with regards to the how selecting the fish, which we can go on to later if you want, or we can talk about it now. But it's like of it's not just the behavior of the fish. So the 6-line is the perfect example. Some people will say, I got the meanest 6-line, it attacks everything. And some people go, my 6-line is perfectly fine. Well, if it's with a load of groupers, it probably is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like, not groupers, that's a bad
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
But
yeah,
yeah. Whereas if it's like the biggest fish in the tank, it probably is an arsehole.
especially if it's in a small tank and there's less
Yeah.
territory and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, but
So
I don't think I'm gonna get. 6-line wrasse was one of the when I first got into the hobby. I spent far too long researching and thinking about it. And I
Yeah.
drew up a list of all the fish I wanted. 6 line was right up there. And then you get into it and you're like, actually, no, it's a bad idea. I still would
I
like
actually don't like them that much. I know if you look at them really closely, they got really cool colors because they've got like every color of the rainbow. But how often do you get this close to the fish?
Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, they just sort of look this you can't see all the colors properly on them.
They look good under white light as well, blues. Yeah. But they're a cool fish. But I don't think I've got the cojones for it.
I got a few of them actually. I think
Okay.
I've got 4 of them in the coral farm, and they're like good as gold. Never
Oh,
have
really?
any issue at all.
Interesting. Okay.
So,
Quite
but then again, one of my customers, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, had a tang that was like absolutely like vicious, and so much he didn't want it anymore, and he gave it to me, and it's never caused me a trouble. Not one time has I ever seen it chase anything.
That's so funny, isn't it? What tang was it?
It's they're called orange line tangs, but they're just brown. They're like a brown bristle-tooth tang.
Yeah.
They're cool when they're juveniles because they're like purple with orange lines, but as they get older, they just turn this like literally just brown.
Yeah. Okay. Orange lined tang. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to share it because it's too boring. But we'll lose viewers if I share it.
Too boring. Are you looking at the adult or the juvenile? I've never seen a juvenile. I don't think.
I don't think no. I don't know. It looks a bit like a cold tang, doesn't it? People are watching now. Like, show me the fish.
Like, show because the juveniles are quite cool looking. And I think people we're doing a public service announcement. Don't buy this fish if you don't want something that just looks brown.
Yeah, I saw a yellow scopass tang the other day.
Yeah, I saw. I think I saw that same one. The juveniles are cool. See the
yeah, that one.
Yeah, but the adults are just the picture just below that, which is just brown. That one. Yeah. That's what I've got. Yeah. So particularly unexciting.
Bath. You must have seen yellow scopass tangs.
Yeah, they're like faded yellow tangs that are really expensive.
Yeah, you look at it and you're like, well, I know that's not a yellow tang, but it looks like a yellow tang. Yeah.
And they're all right. But I don't know how much they are, but I remember there was one in Maidenhead which was like £400 or more. This was a few years ago, and I was like, that's a lot of money for a scopass tang.
Well, this was a couple of weeks ago, and I can't remember how much it was. It was expensive. It wasn't like 50 quid. Yeah. But it's just like, I don't know. Like, that's the kind of fish you've got to really want it, because the yellow tang is just much cooler.
And it's brighter, isn't it?
There's a lot less danger of the yellow tang fading than there is the scopass. If that scopass turned into a normal scopass in 5 years' time.
Yeah, true. Which does happen.
Yeah. But actually, isn't Casper No, Casper, the worldwide corridor, he's a zebra. He's a yellow tang.
He's a yellow tang. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. But anyway, what have you been up to? I've kind of been doing some stuff. What have you been up to?
I have sort of 4 things to talk about actually. The first one is that we've finished the trial with the Coral Auction website now. So like Rachel didn't know I was going to say this, but as of now, we are going to allow everyone on it.
As in to sell.
Yes, everyone is allowed to sell. Everyone's obviously been allowed to buy on it for ages. There's some nice coral on it tonight. So I got a few scallies and stuff like that on there tonight. But see all these other pictures, they're not mine. They're just other people's corals now.
That's
so
yours, tell.
That is mine, yeah.
These aren't yours.
Yeah, so there's quite a lot of like a real variety of coral on there. I don't think that there's another UK website that has the same level of variety on there. If you go to the ones if you go up to the top and it says most active, that's where you can see some there's some really nice blastos. There's basically something on there for everyone. I don't know why it's. Oh yeah, see what they mean.
Yes, I've got one of those Iron Man blastos.
So I don't. The good thing about this is I don't have those blastos in stock. I'm not even sure I could get those blastos if I wanted them. But this guy, I can't see the username on there, but has them. So it gives people the ability to buy them if they want. So
if they'll pay for more than that, I can't remember how much I paid. I think it was about 200 quid from a hobbyist. But they get enormous. The blasto heads are enormous.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful coral. That's a really nice coral. I would thoroughly recommend that. You can go on my Instagram and you'll find an Iron Man blasto. It's really nice.
So it's good with regards to variety, because like I only have so much, and these people have more than me, so why not put it all in one place? So I would be surprised if there was another website that had this much variety on it, which will also, what you see is what you get for like 99% of them. So but yeah, we're going to allow everyone to. Just what I will say is, before, like, so people have been able, lots and lots of people have been on it now, and they have been able to work out how to use it completely fine. Some people haven't been able to do that, and then they have contacted me, so that I don't get loads and loads and loads of messages. Just know that you can do it. So do you see what I mean? Like, it's not difficult to do if you know, like on the auction section, it's just a button that you click for the auctions. So it's like, it can be done, but some people's first point of call is they look at it for 10 seconds, go, can't do this. I'm going to contact Ryan. And that's a lot of people that have access to me, if you see what I mean. So, but you wouldn't do that on eBay, would you? Do you see what I mean? You would.
No, I suppose. I mean,
you would work it out. So if you're struggling, by all means, contact me. But try it yourself first, because I had to work out how to do it myself first, because Rachel built it, and other people have, and like Jamie's used it, and all the people on there, most of them have worked out on their own.
People ask you the same questions.
There's,
as in, would putting up an FAQ section help, or
that possibly. There's one section which is really, really annoying. It's because I can't change it, and I think it's if you upload on the mobile phone, that it doesn't say, and it's a button for like doing the new auctions. I'm just having a quick look at the moment, and I can't change it on the mobile phone. But yeah, see, it's also basically on the computer it says add new under the auctions tab, but on the phone it's just a square. And so that's where people get stuck. But I can't change that. So if they turn their phone sideways, it would say add new.
Yeah, that's annoying.
But do you see what I mean by, like, it's just this one thing? But yeah, and then I said, the only reason I'm asking is for my own sanity, because if all of a sudden I have like 100 people, I'm not, like, it's unlikely 100 people are going to do it all in one go, message me, it will be a lot. So, but look, as I said, the more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. If we can get 1,000 corals on there, great. That's what, because this is like it's like a proof of concept at the moment. I don't know if it's going to work. The only thing I will say is that if you are on there, you should share with people that you're on there, because that's what Moss End have been doing. That's what I'm doing. A few other people have been doing. It's about building the community together, because otherwise it's like everyone. Let's say, so some of my customers are buying from Moss End. I've seen it, and some of Moss End customers will be buying from me. So if there's someone who decides to join it, who's not willing to share it with their customers, it's not even playing field, if you see what I mean. That's not what it's about. Everyone comes along and lifts it together, is what I like. So yeah.
Rising tide lifts all ships. Correct.
Yes. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. It's the next thing I want to say is that okay, so one of them is that I did the 600 litre water change on the water box, because I'm going to start sorting that out to some extent, maybe. It's I am tempted to put a few easy corals in there, but I'm not 100% certain about that at the moment, because I just quite enjoy not having the hassle of a third coral tank, which is like a serious thing. But moving on from that, there's two issues I actually do want to talk to you about, and I mentioned to you earlier.
Yeah.
And I want to know if anyone in the chat will be able to help me with this. So you have to listen quite carefully, because it's quite complicated. So I have an SPS system. Many of you will have seen the coral trays already. And if I have a piece of Hystrix in the top tank, it dies. If I put it in the bottom tank, it survives. It is in the same flow, and the par level is exactly the same. It drives me insane that I cannot work out why if I put it in the top tank, it dies, and if I put it in the bottom tank, it doesn't.
This is all the same. It's sharing the same water, isn't it?
Yeah, it all shares the same water, same additives, same everything. The only difference, as far as I can tell, is the fish. And in the top tank, there is a fox face, which is possible, but I don't think that's what's doing it. It is like it's a slow death. It doesn't die overnight. It's like I'll put it in there, and I don't know, 2 weeks later it will die. And I just I just can't work it out. It's driving me crazy. So I wanted that's the first thing I wanted to ask people.
Jesse Rorabow's got it. It's afraid of heights.
Yes, possibly. And the reason it bothers me is because I've been doing this, I think, 19 years now. Like, how can I not work this out? And how come it was fine before?
Yeah, because your parameters are fine, aren't they? So,
but the parameters are fine because they're the same. If you see what I mean. I know what you're saying. And the lights are the same as well. They're both radions. Both the same height, both the same par level. So if you can work that out, like, you don't need to do it now, but you can come back to me. If you think it's something simple, trust me, I've already thought about it.
Yeah.
And the second thing, which is driving me crazy, is that I have, in a different system to this, I have a protein skimmer, which doesn't. For months now, I thought it didn't work. Where the bubbles at the top are it's a Nile skimmer. I've never had issues with Nile skimmers for ages. I have 3 of them. One of them will produce like the bubbles and the skimmate. The other one is literally like boiling water at the top, where it doesn't produce anything.
Yeah.
You look like you've just had an epiphany, but just let me get through this. So it's producing like boiling water at the top. So I thought to myself, right, I'm going to put a brand new protein skimmer in there and see if that fixes it. Not it wasn't brand new. It was like it had been about a month old. So to see if it was a protein skimmer issue. So I swapped it out with the one that was from the water box. Again, same Nile skimmer, still had exactly the same problem. So yesterday I thought, you know what? I'm going to take the Niles protein skimmer, which is working out of the SPS tank, and swap it with the one that's not working, and put the one that's not working into the SPS tank.
Different bodies, separate bodies of water.
They're 2 separate bodies. Yeah, they're not shared. So I literally swapped them over, and the one that was working in the SPS tank is now not working. And the one that wasn't working in the LPS tank is now working in the SPS tank, which means it's something wrong with the water. But what is it? Like, it's like driving me insane because I can't work out how to fix this. There's no medication in there. There's no different additives in there. Like, if you have any ideas, I'm all ears.
I've got 2 ideas. The first you'll dismiss because you dismissed it when I mentioned it a minute ago. And it's not necessarily my suggestion, but that's one of the reasons I don't like NIOS quantum skimmers, because I've had that issue with NIOS skimmers in the past. And for whatever reason, one day you'll come down and it'll do something like that instead. I've not changed anything. Why is that happening? And then I buy a Deltec skimmer and I never have that problem.
Sorry, just quick. Tech has just said maybe it's too clean. It is definitely not too clean. And that system has higher phosphate nitrate and gets fed more than the SPS tank. So it's not. This is what I thought, some kind of water tension issue. But what? Like, and how do you fix that?
So the 2 suggestions I've got, one is to do a Triton NDoc test on both systems and then compare it, because that's dissolved organic compounds, which I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how skimmers work, but that is the sort of thing that I would imagine could have an impact on skimmer performance. So that's what I would do. See if compare them, and if one thing's got a really high X and the other system's got really low X, then maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's because otherwise you're pissing in the wind without something to go on, aren't you? But the other thing I just thought of when you said I've had an epiphany. So I talked to the guy did a tank tour last week, Imran. He had the exact same issue with his NIOS skimmer, and he is just about to he's going to buy the NIOS upgrade kit. So the upgrade kit, first off, it puts on Mobius, which I think is the main reason. I'm just going to cough, hang on. It also adds a light, so you'll grow algae in the skimmer. That light is completely pointless. That is like the Seache contactless skimming thing. But anyway, putting it on Mobius is a big deal. That's good. But it also apparently it replaces the pump with a pump that draws in, gets better air draw.
It's been working for years.
I know.
Do you see what I mean?
I know.
It's been working. Even that one, that specific one, the one that wasn't working, has been working for years. And that's what it is. It's like, Spiritual Reef, I'm not sure he's referring to this, but he says tin ? So I did an ICP actually the other day, and there was nothing like that in there of any interest. The only thing that I thought was unusual was it had iron in it, but there were iron in both tanks. So, and it wasn't like vastly too high. It was like a fraction too high, which supposedly could come from a water change. But as I said, I am all ears if anyone can work out what this is, because the fact I've changed it twice now, and I've had it with running with carbon, running without carbon. I just can't work it out. But the problem is, I have switched over to using phosphate RX, like lanthanum chloride.
Yeah, okay.
To lower my phosphate, and the skimmer doesn't work.
Is that what's causing it?
So that doesn't work. As in, it literally, I can't use it because it doesn't do anything.
But did you start dosing lanthanum chloride,
No.
and then a week later this happened? No. Okay.
No. It wasn't working already. I actually thought that might change something, because it helps like bind stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay, I understand. You've got filter socks, haven't you?
I have filter floss. Yeah.
Filter flog. Oh, can you drop lanthanum into filter floss?
You can, but you need like some people don't do anything with it. They just put it in the tank. It's not
does that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. When I say some people, I'm referring to one person, but
yeah.
He knows what he's doing. Look at his tank.
Yeah, exactly. It works. Yeah.
So it's
you don't plan to do it. Yeah, okay.
I have had my RO tested. There's nothing of any interest in there, and it only affects one tank.
Yeah,
it is the same depth of water in both tanks as well. This is what I mean. It's like there are so many possible ideas, but I've thought of most of them. But it's just like I just cannot work out what it is. So Nios, if you're listening, please come forward and let me know.
I tell you what, Nios, if you're listening, send Ryan the new upgrade kit. You'll put the pump on. Maybe that'll work. If it does, wicked.
I didn't even know they did an upgrade kit, to be honest. Like I should.
That's actually that. So that upgrade kit puts it on Mobius, and that might sound like nothing, and some people don't care about absolutely whatever. But actually, I think that's a really big deal, because, and you're going to think I'm so sad for this, but the one thing I love about when you buy stuff that is all the same company, so all Red Sea, all AI, whatever. The best thing ever is when you can press one button, like a feed button,
and control everything,
and it turns off. Because if you want to do a water change, you need to turn off your auto top off, your skimmer, your return pump, probably your power heads. So I love it when you get one button that turns all of that off. And with Ecotech, you can do that. You can do your return pump, your power heads, you can do your lights, but you can't do the skimmer. And then if your return pump goes off, your skimmer overflows. And now Nios is on Mobius. So if you've got a Nios quantum skimmer, it'll turn your skimmer off when you press feed mode. I presume it does that anyway. I'm not trying it, but that to me is genuinely a big deal. I agree.
I agree.
Okay.
I love Mobius. I use it probably most days, I would say.
Yeah. Because I didn't used to like it. I found it awkward at first, but I think it's really good now. It's one of the best apps in the hobby.
Yeah. In fact, I use it for literally everything except my dosing. So,
I use it for dosing.
I have the DHL for dosing, don't I?
Yeah, that's true. So I've got one. I've got Calguasa, so I've only got one Versa dosing pump. But if you buy 4 of them, they're like 4 million quid, I think. But my skimmer has now gone into meltdown after my last water change and upping my dosing. Can't get it to play ball. See, that was my experience. This is why I don't like Nios skimmers, because that used to happen to me relatively regularly. You just do something, you change your water, or you wouldn't feed one day, or you'd feed twice as much one day, and it would go mental, and it just drove me crazy.
I have literally, and I have never ever had that.
Like half a dozen of them, and
I think I've had 4 or 5 of them, and I've never ever had that issue ever. That's why I'm surprised. So surprised. There's like a workhorse that just keeps going.
Like, and I know what you want from a skimmer.
Yeah, and I never clean it. I literally Like I never, ever, ever like I clean the cup, but I've never cleaned the body. My body is like for the one that's working, it's covered
Skim.
in coralline algae.
Yeah.
Like, and it just works and it's fine. And I just like, would it be more efficient if I cleaned the coralline algae off? Possibly. Does it make a noticeable difference? Not enough for me to actually do it. I always love the fact that when I cleaned my the skimmer once, I put a post out on Facebook saying, "This is the first time I've cleaned my Nios skimmer in 5 years." This was on my 1,000-liter tank, and I put it up, and it was covered in coralline algae. And Nios themselves came back and went, "It's good to know it's still working after 5 years. Probably should clean it more often."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's what
a
they.
disgrace.
Yeah, so yeah, that's basically what they said. But no, it's as I said, I'm a man of routine. If something works, I don't change.
If nothing's blocked on it, I take it on the skimmer.
Is that I've swapped the skimmers.
Oh, of course you have. Yeah.
Like I literally put a brand new one in, virtually brand new, and because that one was potentially too new, I've just swapped over with the one that's like well old, that's crusty. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's like anything you can think of that could be skimmer related, it can't be that because I've swapped them over. And that's why even if I replaced it, I don't know. I'm not really sure what's special about the new skimmers. Are they controllable somehow?
It's the exact same skimmer. It's just an upgrade kit. So I think it replaces a couple of bits inside, including the pump. It might be that it doubles the air draw or something, and that could actually be significant. That could be a difference. But
I don't know. As I said, it's I'd love to know what it is, just for my own like mental well-being, because it drives me crazy every time I go in there, and it's like I just think I could literally go and buy a brand new skimmer, a brand new one from a completely different company, and I might have the same issue, and they're not cheap.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's why I want to work out what this issue is.
What's your email address?
My email address. Yeah. Why do you want my email address?
Just tell me what your email address is.
Oh, it's Ryan@prestigereef.co.uk.
Nios, Ryan@prestigereef.co.uk. Ping him an email, send him an upgrade kit.
No, I don't need an upgrade. I just think
the reason I'm saying that is because if it was me, I'd just go and buy one. You won't buy one because you don't buy equipment. So
I don't know. I don't want to buy something that's not going to work. So I'm going to spend hundreds of pounds on.
Exactly.
So I want to identify the issue first. If they say to me, "This is the reason. This might be causing it. It's something to do with water tension or whatever," brilliant. I'd love to have that information.
There's your answer. So either email him with the answer or email him with an upgrade kit or both. Whatever. There you go. I'm living to help you out, Ryan.
Steve just said the upgrade is a DC motor.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. It'll be.
So could that make a difference?
I mean,
I don't know what the difference between them is. So
it's no, I don't think so. But if it's more powerful, then yeah. But yeah. Anyway,
we have spoken about my two issues. So as I said, if anyone can identify why Hystrix won't survive in the top tank, I'd love to know. And if anyone can find the UK's richest coral farm stop being tight, I'm not sure that's actually true. Plus, you only become the UK's richest coral farmer by being tight.
I'm not sure that's true, but it is, and that's why.
No. So,
but yeah, there you go. But that's the thing. Anyway. So those are your issues.
Yes.
Well, anyone who has answers to those questions, wang them down there, including Nios, if you're watching. Not everyone watches this, right? So I know you're watching Nios. Don't pretend you're not. Tell him the answer. Fix it. What else was I going to say? Yes. So have you got your pen, Ryan? Can you pull up the list?
Pen.
Brilliant. Right. Okay. Vivid Creative Aquatics.
Okay.
They make
down.
don't write it down.
Okay.
They make random flow generators, right? I decided I was going to chuck on some random flow generators on my Red Sea tank because why not? Basically, because I've got 4 MP40s and I don't really get many still spots, but I do get some, and just if the flow moves around a little bit more from the return nozzle, that's probably a good thing. So, and it won't. I don't like them generally, random flow generators, because they block light, so they stick out quite a long way. And if they sit above a coral, they'll block the light, and I don't like that. But that's not an issue in my tank because it's massive and because of the way the aquascape is. So I went looking for the right random flow generator for my tank, and you would think that would be easy. You would think measure the outlet nozzle, and then
Yeah.
I say it's 20 millimeters, and then I buy a random flow generator with a 20 millimeter attachment. Only they don't list that on the document, so I can't find anywhere that tells me what size it is. So instead, what they do is they sell these packs, and they're sold as Red Sea or water box packs, and it says Red Sea pack. This is for tanks of 525 and above, which is their 5-foot model and above, the Gen 2 tanks. So I thought, okay, I'll buy that. The nozzles don't. It says it describes it as a 3/4 inch nozzle, but it says it's for my tank, and I'm like, well, okay, that it doesn't look right, but you're telling me it is, so I'm going to try it. I bought 2 of them. They don't fit, not even close to fitting, and it comes with 3 adapters. None of the adapters fit my tank. My tank it's the S850, so it's a relatively new tank, but it's been out for like 2 years, so it's not like VCA couldn't have updated, didn't know
Yeah.
about this tank or whatever, So what I just don't, because I tried to get it from 2 local fish shops. I tried to go into a shop so I could say, show me that, I'll measure it and I'll check if it works. But neither of my shops did sold it, so had to buy it online.
Why didn't you
And now
print
that
one?
well, I might do. That's the thing. But I want the proper one in inverted
Yeah,
commas.
yeah,
But now what I've got to do is email the company I bought it off and say, look, what's going on? Can you tell me? And I'm gonna have to return them because they just don't fit. It's not like I'm doing something wrong. They do not fit. They're the wrong
yeah, yeah.
size. So just my plea is to Vivid Creative Aquatics, come up, put some kind of size calculator or a conversion chart or something that says if you have this tank, you need this nozzle, because it's just I want them.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's just, if they're not in shops, there's no way of me testing it. So I need you to show me, to tell me what size it is. And I don't mean just me, I mean me, the customer. You tell
Oh,
us
that's
what
why I've
size
added them to the list. That's why I need the thing.
it is.
So,
Exactly. But it's
I
just,
don't know if I've ever told you this. If you thought that I found talking about lights uninteresting, let me tell you where random flow generators come on that list.
quite low down, yeah,
Oh,
or
yeah.
high up. I know.
Sorry.
And that's it. There you go. It's just really annoying when you try to check. I try really hard. I went on their website, I went on the shop's website, I went into 2 fish shops to try to buy it. I tried to check. I just wanted to know. I measured my outlet nozzle. I was like, right, I know what size that is. Tell me what size yours is, and I'll buy that. And it doesn't say it. And it's like, so I've got it, and then well, it's okay. I'll buy the one that says it's for my tank. And then it doesn't fit.
Not good.
Ah,
Not good.
ah.
I mean, you probably should have gone first before I told people my problem. The one that's been going on for months.
Yeah. This is a small issue. I admit that. It's
I'm
like
just joking.
I've got a mind a bit of life admin to do now. I
Yeah.
just can't be bothered with it. It's like, oh God.
I'm
And they're
sure
expensive.
if you go onto like Thingiverse, there'll be loads of them.
There are.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I don't want to do that, but I might end up doing it because it's easy.
Once
So
you've done it as well, they're like it'll soon get covered in coralline algae. You won't even see it, and it probably
oh,
will look.
I just wondering if it's more effective. If it might be more effective than the VCA one, who knows?
Let's put it this way: whichever one you put on, you'll have no idea if it was more effective or less effective than the
This is
other
very
option. So, because how do you measure the effectiveness of a random flow generator?
true. Yeah, with difficulty.
Put a little ball, those little like glowing balls in. Put
Yeah, yeah.
1,000 of those in just to see.
Yeah, good point. I'll
Yeah,
do that. But there we go. Yeah. And yeah, American size is all an effing pain. See, I don't mind inches. You can tell me the size in inches. Got no problem with that. As long if I can convert it, if it's 1 inch, I know that's 25 millimeters. Fine, tell me that, no problem. Don't care what the measurement is. Just tell me the measurement. Otherwise, but anyway, I figured that's actually good feedback. I'm helping a manufacturer out there by telling them what as a buyer you want to see. So there you
yeah.
go. That's free. The next one will cost you. So I'll send you an invoice for the next one, but that one's free. So everybody gets one. Tell them, Peter.
I
How
don't know
much
where
fun
that's
you
from.
do. Never mind. Okay. Right, we'll move on. So we're now on to the member questions. Unless you've got anything else that you desperately need to tell us.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay. Right. First member question is from Morton Madness, who says, "How would you make the rear glass black on a fully clear tank?" So vinyl wrap or paint, basically. And
Is
that's
it
it.
Is the tank full? As in, or is it like a brand new empty tank? Assuming it's an empty tank, I the it's I think it's black acrylic paint is what people
Yes.
use, and it has to be acrylic, and you have to have multiple layers of it. But I would not be going with
Fine.
that vinyl wrap.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Why
a
not?
pain. It comes off and then it looks rubbish, and you can't fix it. So
Yeah.
if you use the paint, as long as you don't scratch it when you move the tank in, it'll be good forever.
So those are the two options: vinyl wrap or paint. I've never painted it, but I have used vinyl wrap, and vinyl wrap is a bit of a pain, a bit of a faff to get on. You
Yeah,
always end up with bubbles.
yeah,
You're supposed to put like soapy water on and do it that way, but
yeah.
I always end up with bubbles. But it does work and it is effective. The only thing I would say is I actually wouldn't do that. You might have something, you might have cables behind your tank or something, but seeing through um, two panes of glass front to back just makes the tank so much brighter. It looks really good. So I would keep with it. But
I
mine don't agree.
totally disagree.
Why?
You have to remember, you're listening to the guy who had bird wallpaper for like years, so he really doesn't care what he sees behind his tank. I would go with the acrylic paint option. I have painted loads of tanks like that because every one of the coral farms has a black base, all with I did all of them with acrylic paint. So you
With you.
always need a lot more than you think you're going to need, though, is what I'll say, because any bit of light that shines through, once it's full, you really see it. So you need to put like 5 layers on it.
There you go. Why wouldn't you have? What have you got against clear tanks?
Don't like it. I don't like the fact that you can see the cables behind them. I don't like the fact that, because remember, my cables are all like properly behind them.
But so, like, if you've got that, fair enough. But if you tidy them,
Yeah, I get the appeal of having a did you not get like green algae growing on the back of your tank?
yeah. So actually, there was I could reach about 3 foot behind. I didn't. I had my tank about, I don't know, 10 centimeters off the wall, and
Yeah,
I did that deliberately so I could access it, but I couldn't fit down the side,
yeah,
and so on my arm, got a relatively long arm, but I could only
yeah.
get about 3 feet. So the last foot was just algae.
Yeah, so it's like
This is true, but you zone that out after a while. But I bet people would come out and be like, "Oh dear, it's got algae on his tank." But just I'm telling you though, like I'm not saying do it or don't do it. Don't bother me. Do what you want. But seeing through two panes of glass makes the tank look so much brighter. It looks awesome. I
yeah,
really like it. But yeah,
there you go.
yeah, interesting advice from K3.
Yeah, I saw that.
Uh, you got to watch the stream to see it, I'm afraid. Richard Reef is the next question, and this is on the topic of choosing fish. I want to say no, this is ruining the topic. I want to say how important character is in fish, whether it's a reef tank or fish only with live rock. I have a tile fish in my reef tank. I've never had a tile fish, and they add so much character, color, and movement to the tank. What are both your favorites reef safe character fish? I know the answer. It's the same for both of us.
Is it? What's the answer for you then?
Gaza.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, a scarlet hawkfish are a good choice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's my favorite, but it's up there.
No, I know. Yeah. See, it's funny because if you had asked that question, I wouldn't have like thought of him for some reason. My first thought was the multi-bar. I don't know why.
Oh,
It's
really?
not reef safe, and
Character.
it's the fish that I absolutely love at the moment. Yeah, I don't know why. It's because it's relatively new, but also because not everyone has them, and it's growing really fast. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, you're bigger. So it's giving me something at the moment. But yeah, definitely, I would say any sort of hawkfish is probably the most personality sort of fish.
Bloodies as well are cool.
Yeah, yeah, blades as well. Yeah,
Bloody, basically. But those two are they're the best. Even I really like jawfish.
yeah,
So that my jawfish in my cage was a real character. He's kind of disappeared in the main tank now. I think it's a bit too big for him. I think they like being in. It felt to me like he liked being in a smaller tank. It looks
yeah,
like he finds it intimidating because he's hiding away a lot more. Maybe it's because the hawkfish. I don't know. But yeah, jawfish are really cool, and pistol shrimp with shrimp gobies are cool as well.
yeah.
That's just top.
I think that depending on what fish you have, lots of people will assign personalities to their fish.
Mhm,
Like those sand sifting gobies,
mhm.
like they don't really do a lot in terms like they go around, they sift the sand and everything. But if that fish is covering coral, you can start to imagine in your head that fish is doing it on purpose to mess with
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Do you see what I mean?
yeah.
So you sort of like you start to add like attributes to fish which aren't actually there. They're just what we've given them.
Isn't that called anthropomorphizing?
Is it? I don't know.
When you assign human qualities
But
to.
yeah, there's definitely some fish which are more like that than others. I used
Yeah,
to have a
anthropomorphism, the attribution of human characteristics or behavior to a god, animal, or object.
there was I used to have one of those sand sifting gobies, and it would swim up. So it would sift the sand. The ones that don't do it the most are the orange spot ones, but the ones that are like the yellow head jawfish or the blue streak, I think they're called blue streaks, they bite the sand and then they'll swim up and they'll just cover everything.
And they'll
And
do
you're
it while
just
they're looking at you as well.
yeah, and then you'll clean it all off your corals, and then like 5 minutes later, it's doing it again. You're like, you're
looking
doing this
straight
on
at you,
purpose.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, he's just doing it because that's what he wants to do. He's like,
Yeah.
why are you messing up my
Yeah.
den?
Yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
trying to put sand there. Yeah. But they're really cool. They're, like moving away from reef safe, I loved my mimic filefish. He was really cool. It looks like a Toby puffer, a Valentini
Yeah.
puffer. But you can tell the difference. They do look different. But the best thing that I found with him was he used to grab on with his little teeth to a pipe or whatever at night. He'd grip onto it, and so that would
Yeah.
stop him from swimming away, basically, like anchor himself down. That's how he slept. It was really cool. I loved that. Scooter blennies and dragonets are quite characterful as well. Completely different in the way they swim.
I think large angelfish as well. There's something about them, like they appear to be more intelligent than other fish. Like they are actively watching you. I can't explain it, but I've always thought this about all large angelfish. And obviously the king eye is the same. You see, like tangs don't do it. They're just sort of happy swimming around, like just pecking the rocks. Whereas the king eye is like you're sitting there, he's like watching you, going, "When are you gonna feed me, mate?" So you see what I mean? So, but yeah,
they bark as well, don't they?
they grunt. They like it's more like a clicking noise, like that.
Do you want an interesting fact that you didn't know?
Yes.
Damselfish purr.
I did not. I didn't know it, but I've heard. Like on the David Attenborough stuff with all the fish.
I think it's so. I saw that on a video that was a guy who you recommended to me. I've forgotten his name now. But
Is that the guy who does all the scuba diving videos?
Yeah.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
He's so good. If we remember, do you remember his name?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't. But he's really like so good. And I just think to myself, how is he not getting more views? Although he's getting quite a lot now. I saw it when he was getting like 5,000 views on the videos, and some of them got like hundreds of thousands now.
Oh, he was doing well, but he does experiments. So he puts cameras down there and they pick up sound, all that sort of stuff, and he found that damselfish actually purr. And he puts mirrors down to see if fish, how they react. Some fish would attack it, other fish would swim past like it's not there, and yeah, really cool.
They smashed the mirror, didn't they?
Some of them, yeah. I can't remember which one it was.
It was a big snapper or something. Smashed it.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm just googling it now.
What are you googling?
I'm googling it to see if I can find the name of the person.
Yeah.
He's called Barney Dillastone. Dillarstone. He's well worth watching. He films all of his videos while scuba diving, and he narrates them while he's scuba diving because he has like a mask that he can talk into, and they're just really, really interesting.
85,000. He's already overtaken me, Ryan. Outrageous.
I know, but he didn't have that long ago.
1,000 subscribers. I don't know, how long has he been doing it? 2012. I think my channel's roughly that age. But let's have a look at. Hang on, how many views he got? Like 10 times as many as me. Oh no, 10 million. Oh, actually, that's not as much.
That's what I mean. Like, and his videos are way better than yours.
Way better. But he's got loads that are like 1.5 million, 1,800,000.
Basically, after you finish watching this, go and watch some of his stuff, because I promise you, once you've started watching them, you'll probably just keep watching them, the next one. He did the most recent one was on bobbit worms, where he's like feeding them in the ocean, and you see them come out. It's just
on what?
The bobbit worms, like the ones that come out with the pincers.
Yeah. There's another question as well that's just popped up. This is from the Crusade. It says, how many tangs are too many? Ryan's answer to that is none. There is no such thing as too many tangs. You both talk about tangs and how they get on with each other. I've got 9 tangs in the same tank as you, a Waterbox LX 270.6, and have no issues at all.
The more you have, they're fine. This usually is what usually happens.
Like cichlids, just bung them all in. Right?
What I will say, and this is anecdotal evidence based on people with big tanks. When you have a load of them together, they're fine at first, and then after like 10 years, they all try and kill each other. I don't know if they're like reaching sexual maturity or whatever, but that's why sometimes if you look at like Polo's tank and people like that, some of the tanks are like properly like ripped. Their fins have been ripped. I think that's what happens. There's a few people that's had that happen to, and it's usually after a long period of time. But yeah, like I've had 12 tanks, I think, in a tank. I'm not sure that's advised, especially as some of them got to the size of dinner plates. But it's you do these things when you first start, don't you?
Yeah, I think the most I've had is 2.
I look back now and I look at that tank and I go, it looks overcrowded. Like
Yeah.
it was great having it, but like tanks that are like,
what size tank was it?
it was 1,000 liters, so it would have been before I did the SPS tank.
Okay.
But I would have had one of every Zebrazoma, I think, except I didn't have a gem tang and I didn't have a black tang. And then I had just loads, like a powder blue tang, and they're like big fish. In a 6-foot tank, it's like it's too many. Like I think as you do this longer, it's less about cramming as many fish into a box as possible and more about going, does this look too busy?
Right. Yeah, it's completely, yeah.
So I actually can't quite get it right with the water box because I feel like the fish that I have are too big for it. I've got like 3 quite large fish, like the king eye, the golden, what's the Japanese masked swallowtail? It is bigger than the king eye, and I just think when they were all in there together, so he's still in the farm at the moment. I just thought it just doesn't look right. So yeah,
well, that feels like we're segueing into the top 10 criteria for
there you go.
choosing fish. So let's do that. I'm going to 57, 16. Ryan, what are the top 10 criteria for selecting some waterfish? Let's alternate and we'll have crossover. So what's your first?
The first one, and you're going to say this is a cop-out, but I actually think this is the most important one. I think the fish that you have researched is the top criteria out of all of these.
It's not a cop-out at all. Yeah.
Because going into a shop and not knowing what a fish is, which I'm sure happens all the time, like it's funny because you assume that everyone acts in a certain way in this hobby, but you forget that when and when I say you, I'm talking about me as well. Well, at the beginning, there were plenty of things that I probably did which were bad ideas, or buying things or putting things in. So a fish that is researched is the best possible fish you can get for your tank.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if you'd go, not sure how I feel about that one, but that was my 10th one.
Oh, really? No, that's good. And that covers every fish as well. So
yeah. Well, that covers every fish as long as you've researched it, or it covers no fish if you haven't.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I like that. That's good. Do you want to know my first one? I've gone for a little bit less sophisticated than that. Does it look cool?
Does it? See, that was actually my 9th one. Aesthetics is what I've written down.
Yeah, and the reason that's so important, well, it's so important because this hobby is about how cool stuff looks, right? So that's number one. But also, and you and I get this all the time, people say, what fish should I buy? And I'm talking to my local fish shop this weekend. People always say, what fish do you think I should buy? And the answer is, well, Ryan really likes tangs. I hate tangs. So
there's not a chance I'd have a pyramid butterfly fish. Not a chance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't think I will either, but I was up for it. But that's the thing, that the variety is so different. It's like saying going into a clothes shop and going, hello mate, I'd like some trousers.
Yeah.
What should I buy? You're like, well, jeans, chinos, what are you looking for? So so does it look cool to you? And the best way to do this is to go on Live Aquaria. They've got millions of fish on there. I still do that to this day, and they've got various categories that you can select from.
I also think that it's not just the aesthetics of an individual fish. Does it add to the tank as a whole? Like our tanks are like artwork. Why are you smiling? Is it because of
That's
how
number
I
8
think?
on my list.
Pardon?
That's number 8 on my list.
Oh, because I was wondering, like, does it like if you've got all yellow fish, is that
Yeah,
that next fish that you want, which is cool, if that's a yellow wrasse, is that going to add to the tank,
no,
or
completely.
is it
So
not going to add to it?
so 8th on my list was actually what variety do they add? And that's not just colour, but colour is part of it. Because like you say, if you've got all yellow fish, if you've got all green corals, it looks boring. If you've got contrasting fish, some really bright and some it's not so for me, when I say variety, it's not just about the colour, it's about shapes and sizes, because different shapes and sizes looks
Yeah,
cool. It's about what areas of the tank they occupy, because you've got like if you had a tank full of jawfish, it would look really weird. But
yeah,
if you've got the ideal setup is to have fish like wrasses that are free swimming, fish like angelfish that live around the rock all the time, gobies that dwell in the sand, blennies that do a bit of both. You know, a proper variety. Fish like your what's that goby that you like that hides all the time?
oh, the
Spotty
white tiger goby, which I think
white.
everyone should have.
Yeah, yeah, fish like that, and the geometric pigmy perch that are really secretive, and you
Yeah,
see them maybe once every couple of days. Then it's like a
yeah.
treat, and then
Golden
you've got
angelfish, absolutely love it.
exactly, yeah. And then you've got your yellow wrasse that you see all the time. He's really bright. He's really cool. And then your little, oh, I just saw my golden angelfish. Yeah, wicked. So what variety do they add? That's massive to me. It's 8 on my list, but that's really
It
important.
has
Really,
to
really
be a
important.
balance because
Yeah,
as you're right, you can't have or all of one. You can't have all secretive fish or all fish that are out all
yeah,
the time.
yeah, exactly. But no, this is good. This is yeah. I'm glad we're not just like doing the like really scientific, boring stuff. This is good.
Yeah, there you go.
Um, that was yours, wasn't it? So what's
Y-
next? Right. This you might tell me this is a cop out though.
Actually, that was your one. You did aesthetics, didn't you?
You said, all right, you go next.
Uh, so this is well. Actually, you go. 1 second, I'm going to cough. So
Go on then. We're both feeling a tiny bit ill, by the way. So we keep alternating the mute button, basically.
yeah, I
Um,
didn't quite get it then. So
no. My next one is cost.
yeah, cost is another one. Availability was something that someone in the chat just said a second ago as well,
Yeah, okay.
which I think they sort of like fit together because if you got enough money, everything's available basically
This is true.
within reason.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, yeah, but yeah, cost. So don't partly you can get some amazing fish that are like 20 quid that anybody can buy, basically.
Yep.
You don't need to spend big bucks. And actually, often the fish that are really expensive are the kind of fish that they're actually not that cool. And
Like
that's
Griff's angelfish.
Griff Angel. How much are they?
They're just black and white, and I think
Cool.
they're I think they're like £400, maybe. That's a guess. I don't
But
have one.
that's exactly the sort of fish I'm talking about, because some expensive fish are a real acquired taste, like the whitetail coal tang. I think is an absolute stunner, and they're about 250, 300 quid. But a lot of people just like, which is boring, mate. It's like it's a burgundy, So
I was well wrong with the price of a Griff's angelfish. They are
yeah,
£983 on Rock and Critters. So
wow. Okay, there you go.
they, but they're the one with the dark line over the eye, so they look like a sad clown.
Okay, if so, would you rather spend £1,000 on one fish that's like this holy grail fish for you,
Yeah,
or would you rather buy, I don't know, 15 amazing fish and a load of corals from prestigereef.co.uk?
for £1,000. So
Exactly,
yeah, I see what you mean. You could fill your tank for £1,000 easily.
or if you're like me, upgrade your light, and then everyone's happy.
Yeah, except me because then I don't get to eat that night.
Yeah. So cost, bit of a cop out. I think it's a cop out. What have you got next on your list?
This is a bit of a weird one. I've gone from whether it's wild caught or aquacultured,
Okay.
and the reason I've gone for this is because most fish, I would say, this might upset people. I generally prefer wild caught fish over aquacultured fish. Generally, um, there are some exceptions,
Okay.
and the exception is if the fish is one that is difficult to feed. So a perfect example is a golden angel. They do tank bred copper bands now.
Yeah, okay.
Mandarins are they do tank bred mandarins. So generally speaking, like there are a lot more wild caught fish than aquaculture ones. So you don't have a choice, if you see what I mean. So if you're let's put it so, if you're going to have an all aquaculture tank, it's not going to be that interesting probably. It might have changed now. There's a lot more variety, but generally, there's a lot more variety with regards to wild caught fish. At first, also, when they first start breeding a specific species of fish, you saw it with the yellow tangs. They were a bit like ropey at first.
Yeah.
They're fine
Yeah.
now. Like like I have a tank bred yellow tang. It's people say they're a different color. They're not. It is exactly the same color. When they're juveniles and when they're like silver or when they're quite small, definitely they are a different color.
Yeah.
But as they grow up, they just turn that same vivid yellow as every other yellow tang. You couldn't tell a difference between a wild one and an aquaculture one. But my multi-bar angel is aquacultured, and I would never buy a wild multi-bar angel because they don't eat. I wouldn't recommend buying a wild golden angel. You saw the trouble I had with them. I wouldn't recommend. Yeah, there's lots and lots of them that are like the angelfish, which can be a little bit finicky. So yeah, basically, if aquaculture is an option, I would go for that if the fish is a bit more difficult to keep alive.
Yeah, but otherwise you go wild caught.
Yeah, generally, this because a lot of the time you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So I can't get an aquaculture. Actually, they have aquaculture king eye angelfish, but I think that was like once.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like you get them in all the time. It's like it happened once, I think. So and I'm sure it'd be like a lot.
Dollar bill, yo. Okay. Next up, and this is the first really practical. Oh, maybe yours is a bit practical. This is a practical matter. Size, ... and adult size.
Is that size of the fish or size of the tank?
Size of the fish for the tank, for the size of the tank. So both.
Okay. Because I've got that. I've got current tank size.
Yeah, so I guess a couple of mine merged together, to be fair. But first off, size of the fish, because you don't want, excuse me, a dinner plate size fish. You don't want a tang in a fluvilevo, for example. Yeah, you don't want an emperor angel in a 2-foot cube. So
realistically, you don't really want it in a 6-foot cube, a 6-foot tang either.
Yeah.
Not an adult, not a full adult. I've seen the full adults that come in. They are they're impressive. They are a thick, sizable fish. And I thought I like emperors, but I just think to myself, if that would look so weird in a 6-foot tank.
Yeah, totally. I don't like big fish, Jimmy. But that's exactly it. So it's not just how big they are when they're small. So how big they are when they're small. Does that make sense? I think so. But when they're young,
yeah,
that makes sense. But that's because there are some fish that are an absolute nightmare that you see in the shop. Like you've seen a checkerboard wrasse. They're tiny, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then when they're full size, they're like a foot long. They're enormous, and you can be sucked into like checkerboard wrasse. You're like, oh, it's a Halichoeres wrasse. They're peaceful. They're easy. It won't be more than a couple of inches. I'll get one of them. And then you get home and research it, and you're like, oh my god, it's going to be like a bluefin tuna.
Yeah.
So size, because you don't want big fish in a small tank. You also don't want a big tank with just small fish. It looks weird. You want variety, which is what I said earlier, but also how big they're going to get.
I've always wondered what a big tank with only small fish would look like, because I'm not sure that would look bad.
I've always liked the idea of it, but I think it's better to have variety. I think it would look weird. It would look like a miniaturized version, but just variety is always better.
It would need to be sort of, well, this is how I would vision it, where it's like just 3 different species of contrasting colors. So you might have antheas, for example, and you might have like 8 antheas, and then you have 8 of those damsels with different colors, and then 8 of another one of a different color as well. Yeah. And then that would look cool. But if
I think it would look cool on I think it would look cool on Instagram.
Yeah.
As in, like, it would look cool once. But when you've seen it all the time, I think variety is better. But
I think the problem with that as well is that you don't add how do I put this? The fish aren't unique, which means you don't assign anything to them. So you've got like 9 damselfish now.
Mhm.
None of them those are named, I assume. Whereas some of your fish are named, or I know
Yeah.
they used to be,
Mhm.
and you're never going to name them because they're not unique. So
I could
they
call
don't.
them all Dan, couldn't I?
Yeah. So
Dan,
do you see?
Dan.
Do you see? That's what happens, I think, with small fish. And if they're lots and lots of the same ones, they don't have that special feel to them.
Nicola Escalante says in freshwater tanks they do big tanks with hundreds of neon tetras, and actually looks cool. That's true, and they have it looks like there's Takashi Amano, the Japanese guy, isn't he? Who's like an amazing aquascaper. They look like kind of forestscapes. They look amazing.
Yeah.
But that's very different. That's like hundreds of small fish, all kind of. It's almost like because they're shoaling. There's more like one group of animals rather than hundreds of separate fish.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas I think if you had the same thing in a reef tank, it would look weird. It wouldn't be the same. If you could get them all to school, yeah, wicked. But yeah, it's like herding cats, isn't it? But oh, hang on, I didn't mean to bring that up. Are you laughing at K13's comment?
No.
Okay, me neither.
Freshwater
all right.
people are welcome here too, because
know.
then we convert them into saltwater people.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how there is this thing? I actually have great admiration for the people that do freshwater properly. Like they are like really artistic people. Look, there's some people that just go and buy a goldfish tank. I don't have admiration for that, but each to their own. But people that have that do like the proper aquascapes, it doesn't need to be a massive one. It could just be one in their own house. It's just as impressive as a reef tank. Like I've seen the ones. Have you seen the ones with waterfalls in them where they use sand?
Yeah.
I think that looks cool, but I think like during the setup of it, but I imagine that eventually the sand just goes everywhere.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. But what's your next? Was that did I go last? I think so. What's your next one?
Oh no, I did sustainability and agriculture. What was your?
Oh yeah.
Your one?
So this is we've kind of covered this, but territorial / habitat needs, and that could probably be two things really. But territorial needs is kind of about the size of the tank, but it's also kind of about who else they're in with. So like damselfish are notoriously a little bit territorial. So if you put 6 damselfish in a Fluvial, they're probably going to bicker with other fish. But if you put in a 6-foot tank, totally fine. They've got enough. There's enough space for everybody, basically. So like the community approach to fish keeping, but habitat needs as well, and that kind of goes back to variety and some fish that you don't want too many fish that will compete for the same location, whether that's swimming or sleeping territory at night. But habitat needs is your tank set up properly? So have you got swim throughs and caves and sleeping spots? If you want wrasses, have you got sand? It's possible to keep wrasses without sand, but they probably are much happier with sand. So is it set up for the kind of fish you're looking for? And if you've got a small aquascape with some caves for fish to hide in, well, that's great for a couple, but that limits the number you can have and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. I have something similar. It kind of fits with that, which is compatibility and behavior is what I put.
That's I've kind of got that as my next one as well.
They're two different things, compatibility and behavior. Compatibility is whether they're going to get on with the current fish in your tank. And the behavior is if this is the first fish going in your tank, is it going to be an arsehole? So many people say they have problems with either yellow tanks or purple tanks. So many people tell me this. I've never had an issue with either of them, but it's because they're never the dominant fish in the tank. So I think that. So if they're if they're a fish which could have a behavioral issue, are they going to be the dominant fish? Because if they're not going to be the dominant fish, they're probably going to be all right. Is my
so you want theory. To put a NATO tag in to.
Oh, that's some good advice.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, where'd you get that from?
Learned it on the UK's the world's number one reefing podcast.
See, it's I just but because it's both about. I've said this loads of times before. We can have anything, but not everything with our reef tanks at first, and then gradually, each thing you buy restricts everything else. You want a lionfish? Not a problem on day one. Might stop you having chromis on day 2.
You want a clownfish now? No,
yeah. So that's how it works. It's fish that you currently have, fish that you want to have in the future,
It's a
And will
bit
they
like what's that game, that board game where you have all the is it Who's Who, where you have all the faces and you go, "Has he got glasses?" "No." "Tick, tick, 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 tick."
That's exactly what it's
Yeah, yeah,
like. It
yeah.
is
Have
because,
have you have you got a lionfish? "Yes." "Tick, tick, 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 tick." Drop him off.
I think that's why so a lot of reef tanks look the same. Do you not think?
A lot of
Like,
what look the same.
they
Reef
look the
tank. Oh,
same.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
They're
completely, yeah.
usually, like, the same sort of fish over and over, like, most people have a yellow tang or a purple tang or a Scopus tang or whatever. Um, Not many people have truly unique tanks. I would say yours is one of the more unique ones with regards to, some of your fish choices, I would say. Would you agree or not?
Why
Not
do you say
everyone
that?
has not everyone wants to have pyramid butterfly, for example.
I
Not
don't have them, so
I um, am I to say
I
is
don't think
it
I've got
true?
particularly unique if that's it, that's it. I take that as a compliment if that's right, because you don't want the same as everyone else. So that's a good thing. But I don't think that's necessarily I don't think I've got these really the Japanese that angel, I guess, but
That's what I was
um,
thinking. But if you
yeah,
if you look at my fish at the moment, like so I got a yellow tang in there. I got a white tail cold tang, which I think are actually becoming like pretty common. A lot they're expensive, but they're not unusual.
mm,
If you take the multi-bar is pretty unusual. I've never seen like I know loads of people probably have Pictus blennies and gold streak blennies, but I think because they're not a fish that you can see in a picture, you don't realize that people have them.
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah.
Golden angel's a pretty unusual choice of fish, I'd say. They're not most
Yeah,
people.
your typical fish are like a standard pair of clownfish, a
Yeah,
royal grammar,
a yellow
some
tang.
a yellow tang. What's gobies called, the dartfish, goby fish called, what are they called?
Oh, firefish.
Firefish, that's it.
Yeah,
A
they're a terrible choice, just so you know.
couple of Banggai cardinals, maybe those sorts of fish, like
Yeah,
classic, like they're
yeah,
cool. That's really common, chromis, that sort of thing.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, but no, you used to have like that algae blenny, didn't you? The it was
the starry bloody, they're so.
yeah.
I keep thinking about getting another one of them. They're so
You had
cool.
a mystery wrasse, which was pretty unusual. There was
Yeah.
another fish that you had one of those gobies with the orange stripes. There was
Oh
um
yeah, yeah. Wheelers, Randall's goby,
yeah,
Wheelers.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I mean. You definitely have an interest. I'm not saying I agree with you some of your choices. you,
But
you had
actually,
that, you had the hawkfish, not the scarlet hawkfish, the other two. You had the long nose
oh,
hawkfish.
okay, the long nose and the scarlet,
Yeah,
yeah. So actually, to be fair, I did make I used to have, and there's not, at the end of the day, if you like the fish I've just listed that I said are like common as mug,
yeah,
cool. That's all that matters. It
yeah.
doesn't matter what some bull dickhead on the internet thinks. But and I used to have fish like that. That was my choices, and I made a conscious decision at one point. There was someone's tank I saw. I can't remember what it was, but it was on YouTube, and their fish choices were just amazing. And it was the first time I'd seen a tank, and if you see a tank with awesome corals, it's awesome, isn't it?
Was it
But
Vikings Reef?
no, it
Because
wasn't.
he has some cool fish.
He also had some really cool
Yeah,
fish I wouldn't risk, but he's got some he's got but it was years, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. I can't remember who it was. No one like, with a big following or whatever.
yeah.
But it was the first time I saw a reef tank and thought that fish choice looks epic. And I started then I started actually I was like I was looking at my tank. I was like, actually, I've got some boring fish in here. So I removed and sold some of the fish
Yeah.
and then replaced them with cooler fish. And since then I've made an effort because I think it does make a big difference. There'll be lots of people who are like, your fish are rubbish, mate. But thank you, wife.
I'm sure you had. There was one other one which I seem to remember. Oh, you had that tamarin wrasse as well, didn't you? Or some sort of. It was the
I've got the
black.
leopard. The one you
Yeah, the leopard wrasse. Yeah, that was what it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You looked after him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's doing good still. I've had him a few years now.
maybe at the time because I didn't have a scarlet hawkfish, which is probably the main cool one that you had. And I was like, "That's so cool! I'm going to go buy my own one." That was what I thought you had the cool tasting fish.
Yeah, to be fair, there's a few fish that I've had that I find that this is what we influence each other. That you're like, oh, actually, because you didn't used to like hawkfish or blennies, and now you do.
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
talking about getting a jawfish recently, although I think that might have been Rachel, but still.
Uh yeah. And that was Rachel really wanted one of those. You know, those hill freaky firefish, hill fricks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She
Expensive.
One of my customers had one bought one the other day, and it was the first time she'd see it. She's like, "This is one of our fish, isn't it? This is one we're keeping because obviously I get my own fish, and then there's the fish for customers." And she's like, "This is ours, isn't it?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Well, you better go get one for us."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
I like them a lot. They're really cool. That's a
I know
good
that
taste.
someone has said, "Why do I think they're a bad choice?" They are like there's certain fish which are like really, really timid, and they are one of them. And
That's exactly why I don't have one.
I did a consultation with someone the other day, and they wanted a Naoko, a carpenter's wrasse, like the
Quite showy fish.
yeah, but they're also like they're the first one that gets bullied by all the other fish.
Yeah.
And they're not showy if they're hiding in a rock, and then they become emaciated because they're so desperate for food, and then they die.
Which literally
So,
happens.
so by all means, have these fish, but have them in the right tanks for them.
So that's a perfect example, actually, because those Helsinki farmfish, I tried one, and my tank, I don't like boisterous fish, right? So my tank was not full of, I didn't have like 12 tanks in there, but I did have some fish that were quite bold. So even hawkfish, they're not aggressive, but they're predators, aren't they? And so they do predator behavior. Sometimes they'll chase fish like that. They chase gobies sometimes. And I had a couple of tangs and just a couple of other fish that they're not shy. And fish like the Helsinki firefish don't do well in that because they're so timid. And it's like, and if you're exhibiting timid behavior, you're going to get picked on by a big bully. So, yeah. So it's for the right tank, I would love a pair of them. I think they're awesome. But my tank,
I would always have said that my golden angel was the most timid fish in that tank. And then today I saw it chasing the Swiss guard, not the Swiss guard, the candy basslet. I was like, when did it, what happened was the candy basslet came out of the cave. The golden angel entered the cave from the back. The candy basslet decided to turn around to go back into the cave, and then the golden angel was like, "This is now my cave." And like I was like, I've never seen you show any form of aggression at all. But
it's funny because I bet you were like, no, he's more expensive than you are. You need to leave him alone, please.
It wasn't like a chase. It was more like the candy basslet was like shocked he was in there. But I'd love to add another angelfish, another dwarf one, but I just think that they are really funny fish. You add as many tangs as you want, but when it comes to adding dwarf angelfish, they don't like it very much.
You had a bunch in with one tank and they didn't go on.
I had a bunch in one tank, it was successful, and I had a bunch in this tank, it wasn't successful. So it just
all right. What's your next one?
I have gone for diet. Is it? Yes. So you want Anthias? You want some I think it's Ventralis Anthias. You're going to feed them a few times a day.
100 times a day.
You want any Anthias basically for long-term success, you need to feed them multiple times a day. If you're not willing to do that, don't buy an Anthias. So if you're not willing to feed Nori, don't get tangs. If you're not or more a Shido, or if you're not willing to like struggle to get a frogfish to eat or potentially feed it live food, don't buy a frogfish. It's so I think the diet should be a serious consideration for when people pick a fish.
We're deep into the practical stuff now. I've called that feeding needs because it's not just about what food you'll put in, but do they have special when like you sit down at a restaurant and someone will say, do you have any dietary requirements?
Like being vegetarian. Yes, I know. I know.
But no, so like that's what you've got to look at for your fish. And I've got another one which is difficulty, and this kind of comes in together. That's mostly they're the same. Because if you really encourage me to buy a copper band, and you say it's easy and that sort of stuff, but I don't always. I want to be able to go
copper band, just to clarify.
Right, copper band, Prestige Reef branded copper band. But like, so one of the reasons I don't is because if I go away on holiday, they get fed pellet food, and ain't no copper band eating pellet food. Well, I've actually seen one in the flesh doing exactly that recently, but most of them don't. So I don't want to have a fish that because it's not just about that. Am I going to worry about whether it's going to be alive when I come back? That will stop me going away on holiday. I'll think I don't want to go on a 2-week holiday to Mauritius or wherever because of that fish. I don't want to go away for more than 4 days because of that fish, because of its feeding needs. So it's great if you can find fish that will eat just pellets or mysis or whatever, so you can just feed all the same thing. It's very easy. You don't have to worry that if you go away for a weekend you'll come back and they're all dead because you need to hand feed them all this sort of stuff. And if you do want fish that have a weird diet or need hand feeding or whatever, then you've got to put in the effort. That's not just for 6 months. That's for
It's forever.
20 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. However long they'll live. So, and it can be a nightmare with a fish with a funny diet.
Yeah, I was hand feeding, wasn't I? I was literally, well, not hand feeding, like with the pipette, every single one of my cough bands to
Mm.
get them like feeding properly. And when they got thin at one point because I changed their food, there is only one food. I've said this before, but I just think this is so useful for people. If you want a copper band, you have to have Ocean Nutrition's mysis, not with garlic, not with anything, not with omega-3 or anything like that nonsense, because that just takes out some of the mysis. That's the one you want. And because the main issue with cob bands are easy, providing they're feeding and they have the right food, and they'll live for years if they have the right food. But as soon as you give them the wrong food, they become emaciated very quickly.
This part of the Prestige Reef Dork Show is brought to you by Ocean Nutrition Mysis.
I wish we were sponsored by Ocean Nutrition, but it's true. Yeah,
this stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And what you want to do, you want to have a section of your freezer. Don't like go like have two packs or one pack at a time. You want to have it's not always easy to get hold of.
Yeah.
So you want to be, in case you can't get it for a few weeks, have a backup of it.
Because you can find, if a fish doesn't eat for a few days, you're already into trouble.
Yeah.
So
and I had my cough bands. If I give them other brands of mysis, I am not joking. They won't eat it. And I'm specifically talking about the one, like there's one that Maidenhead sell, which is just rubbish. Like I'll add them to the list. Look, it's just true. It's like if you use that mysis and you put it in a cup, you realize it's not whole shrimp. It's all like blended bits of legs and stuff like that.
Is that this stuff?
I'm not sure. There's just one. No, I don't think it is that one actually. I think it's that blue one. Yeah, that's the one. I don't know what that is, but I have that in the freezer and my fish will not eat it. Yeah, and that's not one fish that won't eat it. That is that is like 7 fish, so 7 cob bands that won't touch it.
Okay. There we go. Don't buy that stuff. Mine has spoken. I'm glad it's not this stuff, because this is stuff I buy.
No, no, that's the stuff from TMC, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's that blue one that was no good.
Yeah, okay.
Mysis RS is the best. There you go.
That comes. The only reason I don't like, well, actually 2 reasons. Mysis RS comes in slabs rather than blister packs.
Yeah.
So it's inconvenient, and I'm sorry, but because I've got to do this every single day, I can't have that. You call me lazy, whatever.
No, I agree.
It's too much. It's too much work. And when you split it up, what I tend to do is when I get it home, I'd split it up into squares with the back of a bread knife or something.
Yeah.
But they're all different sizes, so you're feeding different amount every day. And the other thing is, it's really big. It's like lobsters. They're massive, these bees. So some of my fish love it, no problem. But other fish don't like the big chunks.
Yeah.
And they get tiny little bits. And I always wonder if they're getting enough. So those are the things I don't like about RS mysis. It's also very greasy and oily, which is probably a good thing because it's full of all fatty stuff. But anyway, you can get that in blister packs actually sometimes, but it just doesn't show up very often, which is a shame because that's like.
Which one were you referring to?
PE mysis, RS mysis.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because originally someone said something else, but I thought you were talking about PE mysis.
Yeah. But PE mysis, yeah, they're huge. Smith Charles Benny. Yeah, it's like throwing down a longestine. I haven't had a longestine for ages. We used to have them in France growing up. You have a
I don't even know what that is.
Massive, like shrimp, basically.
Yeah, sure. I eat them all the time,
You look at you're like, you idiot.
Oh, it's because you went. Have you ever had one of these? Or so you said something that I didn't quite catch it, but you said something about along the lines of, "Have I eaten them?" I'm like, no, I don't eat those things.
You've always been
since I was 10, I think. I was a vegetarian.
Yeah.
I was given a choice basically by my parents, because I just didn't like the taste of meat. So
yeah.
And they went, well, just do this then. And I was like, all right. And that was it.
It is actually, this just in. It's not a shrimp. It's a type of shellfish closely related to lobster, though it resembles a large prawn.
There you go.
It's that sort of thing. They're anyway, look, let's not talk about this is not food dork, but they're delicious. I like them a lot. Anyway, moving on. Right, what's your next one? Or was it mine?
I just did diet, so it's yours.
Well, I don't know if we've covered this already, but aggression.
I would say that comes under compatibility
Yeah.
and behavior.
Yeah. So all right, we've covered that already in that case. Because yeah, aggressive fish. Yeah, because like putting aggressive fish with timid fish is a bad idea. Sleeping space.
Sleeping space.
Which we've kind of covered.
You really are scraping the bottom of the barrel, aren't you?
I've got two more in.
There are some easy ones here.
Go on then, smart ass.
Okay. Disease. Is it something that's prone to disease? Did you have that one on your list?
No, actually, I didn't. Oh, well, difficulty.
There you go. Jay's just said it. Wait, did I say it before he said it, or because otherwise he'll think I copied him? But it is on my list. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Go on then. Tell me about susceptibility to disease.
You want to cause yourself a headache? Buy a powder blue tang. Buy an Achilles tang.
Yeah.
Buy what's other fish that are really prone to disease? Think like
Chromis get that.
No, I know, but Chromis is most people. Uranema is the one that Chromis get, but I've not.
It's not as common as white spot.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. I know Elliot from Marine Collectors speaks about it quite a lot, but I'm not. It's not as common as some of the other ones. But yeah, anything which is like powder browns, gold rims, these are all tangs, obviously. They just are more susceptible to disease than a clownfish. Doesn't mean the clownfish doesn't have white spot, you just don't know it. So it just has the ability to fight it off. So interestingly, so K13 just said clown tangs are a nightmare for disease. That's actually not true in terms like generally speaking, as what the community believes. So there are two acanthurus tangs which are regularly in the hobby, which are not as prone to disease as the other acanthurus tangs, and they are the Sohol tang and clown tangs are supposedly much hardier than a powder blue or a powder brown or an Achilles, which is interesting because they're the same subspecies of I'm not sure if subspecies is the correct term. You know what I mean? Same family.
Yeah.
No facts here. But yeah, it's yeah. So that I would say disease. I'm trying to think of what's a fish that's not a tang, which is prone to disease. Because basically just stay away from all tangs.
Yeah, basically. I don't think there's any fish that I can think of that I would avoid because they're a disease risk, actually, apart from
butterflies and angelfish are prone to lymphocystis, but that is that goes away. That's not a problem. I would buy a fish that had lymphocystis and wouldn't think anything of it. I went through all of the quarantine for all of the fish, and the copper band had lymphocystis, and I didn't question it. So I've only just realized that the main fish that cause disease issues are tangs.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'm just going to go back to sleeping space for a second.
Okay.
Because it's oh man, but we talked about it already. Actually, it's like, do they sleep in the sand? Are they?
No, you've definitely done this already. You're clutching at straws. Look, I can keep going if you want. Just let me know.
No, I've still got. I've got two more. Difficulty.
Yeah, hardiness is what I've put.
Yeah, so that covers a few things. It covers things like do you have to quarantine it because it's an Achilles or whatever? Is it does it require special care for feeding? Is it just going to keel over and die like a tamarin? What's the wrasse called? Feminist wrasse.
Yeah.
Those sorts of things. Is it a fish that? Hang on a second. It's difficult to get feeding.
Yeah.
All those sorts of things. If a fish is described as expert only, like a copper band, just ignore it, avoid it. if you're not up for the fight, basically.
Yeah. No, as I said,
I'm mostly not.
You're mostly not.
I don't want a fish to take over my life. I'm trying to avoid buying fish that will restrict my everything. We're going away on holiday, what I have to feed, all these sorts of things. I could love a copper band. They're amazing.
I am jealous of the people that only feed pellets. I know it's not good for the fish, but there will be plenty of people out there that only feed pellets. I'm jealous of those people. Feeding just pellets takes 10 seconds. Whereas Feeding
Auto
frozen
feed
food is
takes
a
no
more
seconds.
it's a pain because you have to wait for it to melt, and I know it's only like 5 minutes, but it's still
Yeah.
5 minutes rather
I
than
I
10
I could
seconds.
leave it to for an hour before I put it in.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I literally just I put it, but then again, what I do is I keep replacing the water every time. Obviously, I put the tube back in to put the. You're just pouring it in your tank, aren't you?
Oh, I have a tiny little pot with
No, I
two
feed
tubes in.
with
Yeah, okay.
a turkey baster. So every time I
Yeah,
take
yeah.
water out of the tank to put it back in, the water heats up and it's new, so it melts faster.
But I have to as well because sometimes you'll like defrost it for 5 minutes, and if you throw it in, some bits will break off, but then there's a big chunk. A lot of people can do that and it'll be fine, but I can't do that because I've got 2 really greedy fish, my
Yeah,
rabbit fish, sorry, and my Scaris koi. And if they get the chance, they'll eat it all.
yeah, yeah. Oh, Scarus
So,
koi, definitely.
yeah. So I try to avoid that, but there you go. What you got next?
Reef safe, which you might say is a diet thing, but I think it's actually
That's good.
I think it's entirely
Yeah.
separate. Um, yeah. Do you want a totally reef safe fish? Do you want one which is possibly reef safe, which gives you anxiety every time you put a new coral in, or do you want one which is probably not reef safe, which then limits what other things you can have? Again,
Yeah.
going back, you can have anything, but not everything. So it's yeah, I more and more people are trying non-reef safe fish, I think, these days than they used
Okay.
to. Definitely. And possibly because of people like me trying or you. I think you've had some yeah, right, with your Regal
Yeah,
Angel.
I've had half a dozen.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I think that it's definitely a thing where one of my customers who listens to this at the moment, and I'd love to know, he did say it's fine. He bought a blue Queen Angel the other day, and he has a full reef tank. And I've messaged him about a week later. He says it's not touched anything. So how bad are these non-reef safe fish? Because I would have said a Queen Angel would be relatively like high risk for
Yeah.
eating coral. It's not the
So
same as like a coral, like a butterfly fish, which like I would rather have a Queen Angel than a raccoon butterfly, for example.
yeah, yeah.
But
I've called that's my last one. I've called that risk appetite.
yeah,
Um, and that covers a few things. Mostly, is it going to eat your corals, depending on what type of corals you've got, but also how easy is it to catch? Because I don't mind, less so now, to be fair. Now I've only got LPS, but I don't mind trying a fish that is reef safe with caution. I don't mind taking a risk because I know most of the fish anyway I can catch. If it does something that displeases me,
yeah,
I can catch it and rehome it. But if you've got a fish that's harder to catch and more likely to eat your corals,
yeah,
risk goes up because it's more likely to stay in your tank for longer and do more damage.
yeah, true.
So, but I when I talking about risk appetite, I also had like disease in mind as well. So I guess that's kind of that as well.
My last one is future plans.
Is what
Um,
future plans?
future plans, which we sort of covered with regards to how many people are going, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy this fish. Oh, it's okay because I'm going to upgrade in a year's time.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
firstly, are you
Are you?
actually going to?
Are you?
I am yet, people say, I am yet to find a single person who's gone, I went out and I spent £5,000 on a new 6 foot tank because that fish looks like it's in a home which is a foot too small for it. Or 2 foot
Yeah,
too small for it.
that's you. I don't know. So I've done that before. I've bought a tank, knowing I bought it's 2 foot wide. It was a oh god, Aqua One Mini Reef
Yeah,
120, so about 100 liters, small little tank, and I put 2 or 3 wrasse in there. That if I was keeping that long term, there is no way I would have put them in there. They
yeah,
don't get big, but wrasse like swimming space. And I did that because I was going to upgrade, and I
yeah.
literally that was always going to happen. But and people do that, so they're like, oh well, I've got a tank now, so I've got to upgrade. But it's kind of like you're not doing it because it's not like you buy a fish and then it gets too big and you're like, I'm going to look after you. You
Exactly.
you're convincing yourself. You're like, oh, I need an upgrade now. So
Yeah. I think people, as I said, when you upgrade a tank, it's not a small amount. Because if you're going from like a 3 foot tank, like this is the most common one. Is it, can I put a tank in a 3 foot tank? And if I'm thinking about upgrading later, most people don't go, oh, I'm going to upgrade to a 6-foot tank from a 3-foot tank because that fish is going to get too big or too small.
It's mostly if you've got a small tank. I think that is a legitimate thing when you've got a small tank, a nano tank or whatever, like the
Yes,
Cade.
I think it's different. If you're just trialing something,
Exactly.
yes.
And you're like,
But
you know what? I'll put an angelfish in there, and I know that I'm gonna, because you get a small regal angel, can't you? They're tiny. I'll put it in there, and in 6 months' time, I'm gonna get a 4-foot or a whatever. So,
do you think people put too much emphasis on the adult size of a fish or not enough emphasis on the adult size of a fish? The reason I ask is
people get it wrong.
when I first set up a tank, I did all the research I could possibly do, which again, I probably did similar to you. I did too much research, and I only wanted a fish only tank. And there was a few different fish I wanted, and I wanted a large angelfish, but I only had a 5-foot tank. So the smallest large angelfish is an annularis, like a blue ringed angelfish.
Okay.
So I thought to myself, that's what I will get. I want one of those because that is it. Now, the chances are that fish would outgrow a 5-foot tank as well. Do you see what I mean? In the same way that an emperor would.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so it's difficult to work out, one, how big fish actually get,
Yeah,
and two, how quick they get that big.
and if they will even get that big.
Yeah. Well, yeah, how big they will actually get, because like if you go on Live Aquaria, it will say, I don't know, a puffer fish will get to a foot long.
Yeah.
So, well, they can do,
Yeah.
but is it going to with the food I'm feeding it and in the environment I'm putting it in and all these sorts of things?
That's
So
the other thing. A fish in the ocean gets to eat virtually every second of every day.
yeah.
So they're not going to grow at the same rate that a fish that gets fed once a day is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, completely. So it's difficult because like I tend to ignore what the online guides say, because like with rabbitfish, for example, fox faces, they can get massive. If you look online, it'll say 14 inches. No, I'm not buying. I don't want a 14-inch long fish. And actually, I have seen enormous fox faces, but generally they're quite a slow. They grow to a reasonable size relatively quickly, but I've had them for a long time and they don't get massive.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's a bit of a it's not like a black and white answer, but yeah, I think people get that wrong, and it's this because it's difficult to work out. But also, if you've got, I would put a small tank, a small fish in a tank like my Cade over my shoulder, 2-foot tank like that, if I was going to upgrade it in a year's time. So I had a coal tank a tummy tank, sorry, in my water box. It was the same size as the Cade, which is not a good size for it long term. But I'd put that in there and think, okay, I'm going to rehome him in a year's time, whether that was moving him to an upgrade or selling him, that sort of stuff. Jay asked about what you think of in terms of buying fish that are being rehomed from other tanks, so secondhand fish. And he's talking about.
Oh, sorry. Well, what was the second part?
He's talking about in terms of questioning why people are getting rid of them. Are they problematic? Which is like when you, if you buy a secondhand car, you're like, are you selling this because the clutch has just gone or something?
Yeah. I generally prefer to buy fish from other people. If they're still small, generally I prefer it. As I said earlier, they like the character of the fish. Yeah, they're settled. They're eating. Like it definitely. If you're let's put it this way, if you've got a choice between a fresh copper band or one that's been in captivity for 7 years, get the 7-year one, hands down. I think that the aggression level of fish, as I said earlier with that tang, depends on what other fish they're with. Mm-hmm. If that tang that I had was the first one in the tank, and I added a fish to it, it would try and kill it. Because it was the last one to the tank, it's never been a problem. So the chances are, you have to remember, when you get a new fish from someone, that might have been their dominant fish. But when it goes into your tank, it's the new guy. It's the fish that all the other fish want to attack first. So sometimes it like takes the edge off them.
Yeah. The second part of that question is why do you question why they're getting rid of them? I see all the time on Ultimate Reef on the livestock section, someone will put up a fish that is reef safe with caution, like an angelfish or a
Yeah, yeah,
butterfly. And the first thing I think when it's that kind of fish is
yeah,
how much money have you lost to
yeah,
corals
yeah,
that he's eaten? Is that what might not be, but like if as a general rule, if you've got a really healthy, beautiful regal angelfish, no one's selling it just because
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
I'm bored
yeah.
of
Of
it.
course, yeah,
You're selling it because it's eating your trackies or your
yeah.
scummies or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, completely. I agree. I
If
agree.
it's something, if it's a reef safe with caution, yeah, I would be skeptical, definitely. If it's something like a regal angel, or
Yeah.
yeah, or
But then I've sold that. I sold my regal angel
yeah,
partly because I thought he might have been nipping my SPS polyps on a couple of them.
yeah.
And then
And then he
just turned
wasn't.
out he wasn't. So my corals looked the same after he went. And I spoke to the guy who bought him recently, and
Yeah,
he's still good as gold. Such a cool fish. I was gutted. But yeah, so it's not always, but you do. Yeah, if you're moving on a fish like that, there's probably a reason
yeah.
because you're not going to get bored of an awesome fish like that, a flame edge or whatever.
True. I'm never gonna be able to get rid of that fox face now because I said it's in the tank with the coral dying. So people were like, it's definitely the fox face.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
what I will say though is fish usually, like reef safe with caution fish, usually eat a specific. It's not usually an all you can eat buffet.
Yeah,
They
red
usually will go
agate or
for one
green
specific thing.
zoas. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um. So I'm totally happy putting Trachyphilias in with the king eye angelfish. I have no like people would think that was mental, but
I think that's mental. Yeah.
it is whereas if I put a like Zoas in with him, maybe he has had Zoas to be fair with him in with him. There's some interestingly, so Christian who has the angelfish tank, he can have as many frog spawns and hammers, nothing touches him. Put a torch in there, it gets eaten immediately.
That's
Um,
funny.
he has his regal angel potentially eats Zoas, and his emperor angel eats toadstools. But you see what I mean? Like they all eat certain things, but they don't eat. And there's enough species for him to fill the entire tank full with coral, and everyone will go, "This is amazing! I didn't even think this was possible." Not realizing that there's loads of bits that are missing, like there's no Zoas, there's no toadstools, there's no torches. But he's managed to piece things together with the rest to make it look
Mm,
amazing.
mm.
So I have no doubt at all that I could fill that tank, the water box tank, with angelfish and coral, and for people to go, that looks amazing. I didn't think that was possible. Without them realizing I've specifically taken things that they eat out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
Would you? So actually, you already have this. John Wright says, "Would you go for fish only tank so you can have another? You can have other fish." Well, you have accidentally. You've got a fish only tank, but
I have a fish only tank at the moment. Well, that's not really. It's got one
you have
coral.
a tank, but you haven't put corals in. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a
But
tank.
that's not longer term. That won't be a fish only tank. So
No, it
would
won't
you?
be.
Would you ever have a fish only tank just because it would let you keep puff fish?
No, they're not
No,
interesting enough.
no, I
Like
agree.
fish only tanks are not long term. Some people might love having a fish only tank. Those people
Mhm.
have never had coral. I'm just joking. Um, some people would love it, and it's enough for them. But I just think it doesn't add to the artwork. Like a reef tank is beautiful because of all the different colors. A
Mhm.
fish only tank is rock work with some colorful fish swimming around. It's
The
not the same.
the thing is you need both. So when I had my white spot outbreak and I pulled all of the fish out, I had some amazing corals in there,
Yes,
and
yeah, yeah.
I was bored of it. There's no
Yeah,
fish in there. It's boring.
yeah,
And equally, if you've got all fish and no corals, you can have the coolest fish in the world. It's boring.
yeah.
You need both. There's something about it that is different. So no, I wouldn't have. I've thought about it in the past, and I've thought, well, I've not thought about doing it, but I've thought about that question. And I like the idea of it because there are some fish that I'd love that I would never keep, like
I
puffers, but
I would
I
say
don't
that
do it.
I'm not sure if I put this correctly, but I think I would say that the corals add color and movement, but the fish add intrigue. So the fish move as well, of course, but they're like corals do the same thing. Whereas fish are
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
And you could have any fish within reason in there
Yeah.
with corals, and it would still be interesting because you're watching them interact with each other and you're feeding them.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And interesting only goes so far when the rest of the tank is just rocks,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would
Completely.
say. I quite enjoy watching the fish in the water box and how they interact with each other. But would it be better if there was corals? 100%.
Yeah.
Then it would look like a piece of art if it had
Exactly.
corals in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Have you? I think we've done your list, right?
That's my entire list. Yeah.
We've done my list as well. So there we go. That is how to choose fish. That's everything. That's everything. That's actually a really thorough deep
Yeah.
dive.
I think we did quite
It's
well.
good. I thought when I drew up the thumbnail, I just thought it was going to be a practical list, but that was good. I like that.
You didn't think I was going to turn up having done my homework, did you?
I
When I do my
thought you
homework, I
might
can
do.
bring out some gems.
I know. I thought you might do because you like fish. Fish
Yeah.
gets your motor running. So
It's so interesting. Some of these topics, like when you find something that's really like fish, as you said for me, it's like I'm like there, like writing it down because it's like, and there's a lot more like passion with it. Whereas if you're like,
next
let
week
me
we're
talk
going
about
to
the
do.
top 10 lights, I'll be like,
Well, next week we'll do top 10 criteria for choosing a random flow generator. But in the meantime, we're going to do the news. And I've just realised I've forgotten the fishing car of the week, but we'll come back to that after the news.
We've only got 5 minutes. 50. We're only like we can always move that back to next week, and then I don't have to do any homework.
You don't get out of it. Right. Well,
What
the
was
good
the
news
fish of the
is,
week? Oh, I don't remember. Yeah.
I know I've got it written down. The good news is there isn't much news, but there is some genuine, actual, proper moving stuff on news.
Okay.
There is. You might have seen this. There's Red Sea have brought out the Gen 3 Red Sea Reefer.
That is not moving. Okay.
That's
Not for me
you're right.
anyway.
That doesn't move you. That not even a wiggle. That doesn't give
No.
it anything for you.
Not even slightly. If I was in the market for a new tank, maybe.
Yeah. So the current generation is the Red Sea Reefer Gen 2.
Yeah.
And they've just brought out the Red Sea Reefer Gen 3. As far as I can make out, the Gen 2 had a fair few upgrades, but the Gen 3, as far as I can make out, only really has 2 upgrades. One of them is that the tanks that are there. Why is my image disappearing?
You froze then. But
yeah, I know. I don't.
I was like, oh, thank God he stopped talking.
I know. So one change is that the 45 and above, which is their 4-foot tank and above, are now all Euro braced.
Okay.
So same way that mine is. It's the same as mine. It's 3/4 Euro braced, not the back of the tank. And I think they do that because most people want to mount lights on the back of their tank. But I would like, personally, I think it's better to have a Euro brace all the way around. Even if you have like little slots that you can removable slots that you could covers or whatever that you could put over, so you could leave somewhere for the lights. So you cover anyway. Euro brace now, 3/4 Euro brace. And the other thing is they've got upgraded, and this is going to really get your motor running, Ryan. Upgraded plumbing.
Okay.
So wider return lines and upgraded outlets to maximize flow.
Okay. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Do they come with random flow generators as well?
No, they don't, and you can't get the right bloody size. But no. So there you go. It's apparently it's more efficient. I don't know, fluid dynamics or something. I don't know. But that was about it. There was not really anything else upgrade. There were lots of features that I could tell you about, but they're not upgrades on the Gen 2.
Yeah.
So there you go, which is a blessed relief for Ryan because he'd fall asleep if I started talking about.
I'm not even joking. This is terrible. I couldn't even tell you the last 5 minutes of what you just told me. I'm sure other people were listening, which is the main thing. But I could, you just said that there's other upgrades. I was like, what were the upgrades you just told me?
All right. What are the 2 upgrades that we've
got? I could not tell you because I wasn't listening. But if anyone in the comment section could help me out, you let me know.
No, tell him. No, I'm not having that. All right. Well, the good news is that is the only news, Ryan. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, actually, no. So that is the only news. But the one thing they've done that's structural. Go on.
I thought you said this was moving. When you said this was moving, I was like, I was like, there's gonna
Oh,
be
no, it's
something.
not a game changing. It's significant, I think.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Huge.
be like, oh, there's something happening with importing coral, or
No, no,
like a
no.
new fish has been discovered.
Significant news. It's not like just
Okay.
an incremental upgrade to something else, because tanks are a big deal. Lots of if you want a tank, then
Yeah.
it's a big deal that there's a new option out there. But the braces, of course, structural, so that's good. And
Yeah.
Red Sea have had
I
some
heard
issues.
that bit. Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, I did hear that bit.
There you go. Red Sea have had some issues with some tanks leaking, so some people will feel confident in that.
Yeah.
Whether that's fixed it and that you'll never see that issue again, who knows? But anyway, that is the end of the news. So now we can move on to other stuff. So you were listening. You do
Not
love
really.
equipment.
Not really.
No.
I sometimes I have things in, but it doesn't actually. You hear something, but you don't. It doesn't actually go in.
It goes
Uh,
in, but you can't feel it.
it I'm not sure. Not sure that's what I was referring to, Alex. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Just
So
information going in one ear and out the other. What are you thinking about? Oh, you're disgusting. Right. What is the Prestige Reef? Oh, actually, the one last thing I should tell you about the prices of, of the Gen 3 tanks, by the way. So there's no details of prices on the Red Sea video.
yeah,
And when you go online, the 425XL, which is this tank here, that is a photo of the Gen 2 one because it doesn't have the Euro brace along the top. And the price is the Gen 2 price. I presume, given that you can buy it, that means that is the same price, but they haven't said if the price is going up. And given that they've got the photo wrong, in inverted commas wrong, I don't know if prices are going up. Normally, if something is upgraded, it gets more expensive.
so quick, buy it now.
Exactly.
Buy it now before they realise the mistake.
But there you go. Ryan, what is the Prestige Reef fish of the week?
I have gone for a jigsaw triggerfish. I wanted to pick a fish that was interesting that you might not be aware of. Only because you were so excited when you saw the blue pufferfish.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. When you saw the blue pufferfish, you were like, that's a cool fish. So I thought I'd pick this one because it is a cool fish. Like when you look at it, like in terms of like the patterns on it, but it is an absolute like just terror. You know that video you have of the triggerfish, which is biting the glass.
Yeah.
They had one of
Yeah.
these in a fish shop that I used to go to for a year. And the reason it was there for a year is because every time you walk near the glass, it would do that. Like no one was buying that fish. If you were buying that fish, you were a psychopath because it was the meanest fish I'd ever seen. So I thought interesting. Yeah, like that. That's what it used to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So
you don't like that fish, I assume?
No, I've seen them.
Yeah.
I know. So they're not as rare as nowhere near as rare those blue.
No, of course, yeah.
They're quite cool, but I don't think that they remind me a little bit of the undulate triggerfish.
They're quite different, the undulate ones.
But what I mean is they're kind of similar patterns, and they're kind of interesting, but not really that cool. So they're not massively bright. They've not got anything particularly exciting about them. They're okay. I'm not taken.
I think the undulate ones would be considered cooler than those ones. I think that the thing with these ones, they like have the iridescent blue, which makes it more like. Are you googling the other ones?
No, I'm Jay reckons that the Gen 3 45XL is £4,600.
So quick, go and buy that other one.
No way. They wouldn't double the price. That's wrong. Fake news. Get out. Let's ban him.
Well,
don't ban him. Don't ban him. He did
you have to clarify sometimes, Les. We're joking.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he did that for Bants, and then
coral of the week.
Yeah.
Now that my fish of the week flopped, my coral of the week is definitely going to flop.
Yeah.
So I have picked a golden polyp gorgonian, which I think are also called Menella
gorg.
Now these are supposedly photosynthetic. You don't usually get that many cool colored photosynthetic gorgonians.
Is it this color, the gold?
It's more of like, so it's the very first picture you've got on your screen where it's like a brown base. Yeah, that one. That's what they look like. The reason I picked this is actually because I am looking for photosynthetic gorgonians. If anyone has them, any color, like I've got the pink one, I got the thick pink one as well. If you have any of the photosynthetic gorgonians, I'm interested, because I don't know what it is. People love them. Like I can't sell them enough. Like I can't get them quickly enough like I can't grow them quickly enough. Definitely, I think it's because they're easy and they're a bit more interesting than some of the other soft corals. And obviously, soft corals are usually like beginner corals, aren't they? So if you've got a choice of having that or a beige toadstool, people generally want something like that, if you see what I mean. So yeah, I thought I'd pick this. They're supposedly meant to be easy to keep, and they're supposedly photosynthetic, but you're obviously not.
This is so gorgonians to me are like Gen 3 red sea gophers to you. I just don't. I've never had any desire to have gorgs.
Do you not like them?
Don't do anything for me now.
They're like cool in the flow.
Yeah, but so are torches and toadstools and xenia, GSP and
yeah. The thick one is the one you've seen David Saxby's tank. I don't know if he still has it, but he had this really really tall one, which would move around in the flow, which was like.
I don't remember it, but yeah, take your word for it.
I don't know if he still has it or not.
Stop touching your microphone.
Yeah, I know. See, amazing choice, Ryan. Exceptional movement. Look very natural. Jaysville Reef. There you go. See,
actually ban him this time. No, we can't.
Yeah,
can't be complimenting Ryan.
He likes to keep me down, like downtrodden, so I don't, get above my station.
Yeah. There we go. Terrible fish of the week and coral of the week. Must do better.
Unless you're Jay, who loved it.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Nope. I would say that's probably it for me.
Cool. Well, in which case, we will be back next week with more fish nonsense. Cheers, guys.
See you later.
Has that ended? I think we're still going. Hello. I've pressed end. No, it's gone. We're done.
It has not come up on my screen saying we're done.
It says live, but
it still says are we still going in the chat?
I think so. Yeah. Are we still here? I'm watching it on YouTube.
Apparently we're here all night.
Okay. I'm having. It might be my internet connection. There we go. I think we're done.